Fear the beard. You know I had to give these a crack, man. James Harden, beard gang. Gang, gang, gang. Yo, what's going on, everyone? I am Mr. Fomer Simpson. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Now, today we have the Adidas James Harden Volume 1. Adidas was kind enough to send me a pair of these a couple weeks ago, and I've pretty much been playing in them ever since. Inside, outside, all different types of surfaces, and now I feel like I have collected enough data and information that I can bring you guys a very full, comprehensive performance review. So that is what we are here to do today. Now, real quick, just to break it down, when I do a performance review, the areas that I'm looking at personally as a basketball player are, number one, fit, traction, impact protection, court feel, support, and lockdown. Those are the 6 areas. There are some other aspects or areas that you could try to throw in there, but for me, I mean, like breathability. No basketball sneaker really on the market is all that breathable, and it's just not something that affects me that much. So that's not even something I look at. Aesthetically, I think aesthetics are always important. I do believe look good, feel good, play good. I believe in that. I think if you have a pair of sneakers that looks really good, that it can give you a little more pep in your step, but it's not really a performance area, so to speak. So with those 6 categories in mind, let's get into it. As far as the fit goes, and fit is really, really important because, and I've talked about this before, if the fit is off, you're not going to be able to tap into the tech. You're not going to be able to utilize it because it's uncomfortable, it fits you awkwardly, and these fit my foot a little bit awkwardly. I'd say they're about a half size long, but I don't know that I would necessarily want to size down, if that makes sense. It just didn't really fit my foot well. The one thing you have to keep in mind is everyone's foot is different. So fit is a very, very individual thing. It's a very personal preference type of thing. And the worst part about the fit on these was not that they ran long. Right where the leather meets this mesh knit nylon, right where the white meets the black, it pinched on top of my toe. Not really pinched, it was almost like bruising it. Like after I wore these the first time, it really felt like I had a bruise on my foot in that exact spot. It was like a very specific spot. And it did get a little bit better as I broke them in, but it was there pretty much the whole time. So for me, the fit on these, not so good. Now moving from really the only super negative aspect, in my opinion, over to one of the strongest aspects is traction. The traction on these was absolute beast mode. Straight beastie. I wore these on all different types of surfaces, inside, outside, dusty, clean. The traction was A1 on every single one of them. Of course, if you're playing on a filthy floor, there's gonna be a little bit, you're gonna have to wipe off the bottoms of the shoe a little bit, but I mean, the traction on this, top shelf. Another aspect of this shoe that I'm really impressed with is the lockdown, and really I was pretty skeptical. I'm always a little worried with the non-traditional split tongue setup. I always feel like I prefer the traditional tongue. I feel like you can really like kind of, lace them up tighter and it's just a better look. But man, for whatever reason, the way they did these, how it kind of comes over a little bit more, and it's not just like split super on the side right there, but how it comes over more. The whole lacing setup, the way they did it, the laces are a little bit thin, but man, it just works perfectly. I mean, I was playing for quite a while. I never had to really relace. I felt locked in, and even though, like I said, the fit wasn't great, which makes lockdown even more difficult, I still felt locked in. So the lockdown on these, money. The support is also good. I know a lot of people, they see a low-cut basketball sneaker and they still kind of have that thing in the back of their mind, like, oh, I'm gonna roll my ankle, I'm gonna sprain my ankle. You don't need to be in a 1994 basketball high top in order to have support. I mean, they have the heel counter built in. They have, the support on the bottom. They have the caging and the little, outrigger on the side here. So it's not just willy-nilly with the boost. this shoe was built to support basketball movements, and that's what you want. If you have a history of spraining your ankle or rolling your ankle, what you need is not a higher cut sneaker. What you need to do is play with ankle braces. You need to tape your ankles up before you play, or even better is to do exercises and rehab your ankles and get your ankles stronger so that that's not an issue. But for me, I like low cut sneakers because, like I said, I know that that's not going to cause me to, or that's not going to be the reason that I don't roll my ankle or I do roll my ankle. And I like having a little more freeness. I don't like when it's all strapped up like a boot. So support wise, I like them. Now moving on to the most important part of the sneaker, at least for me. For me, it's the most important thing when I'm looking at a sneaker to play basketball in. The most important thing for me is impact protection. It's, I had knee surgery, some of you know that, but even aside from that, the pounding that you take on your joints in the game of basketball is brutal. Over and over and over, pounding on your feet, up to your knees, and it really just spreads through your body. So having adequate impact protection is vital in my opinion. And I think they did a pretty good job. You can see the boost, you can see it on this side, it's obviously caged over here, but you have boost, but it's different than boost that they've used in the past. It's different than the boost that you see on the Crazy Explosive, which is super chunky. And it's different in that it's just a thinner slice of the same boost. Me personally, I would like it a little bit thicker. I get why they did it, because the negative side or the flip side of having a big piece of boost is that, and I've talked about this before, I don't know that it's super basketball, what would be the right word? Not efficient, but I just don't know that it caters to a basketball player the way a basketball player needs his shoe to cater to him, because yes, it absorbs and it takes a lot of that beating off your joints, and so impact protection wise, it's phenomenal, but you lose a lot of responsiveness. You lose a lot of explosion because it's like you're on a cloud. So every time you go to spring off the ground, it's kind of like you're sinking in a little bit, and it really does take a little bit from your speed. It does take a little bit from your vertical jump. It does affect those things. So I get why they did it. I just wish they didn't do it quite so much. So the impact protection, it's pretty good, but it's definitely not great. If you like the Crazy Explosive and you like that much cushioning, this is not that. Now, moving into the last category, the court feel, which kind of goes hand in hand with the impact protection, similar to how support and lockdown kind of go hand in hand. The court feel is great because it is a thinner slice of boost. And so, on some of the previous boost models, that's been my complaint. Oh, well, there's no court feel. It's kind of like, you have to kind of, pick the things that you want because, a shoe can't have absolutely everything all the time. So the court feel is really good. It's not super boosty on the ball of your foot, so you really kind of are locked in there. And again, you do get the responsiveness, you do get the explosion that you'd be missing if they beefed that up a little bit. So court feel, very, very good. And for me, that's a first with Adidas basketball when they used boost. Any other previous model where boost has been used on a basketball sneaker, I do not like the court feel at all. And there you have it, man. That's pretty much it. Those are the categories. That's how I feel about them. When I do these performance reviews, I don't want them to be overly technical. I'm not a science guy in the lab with, beakers and steaming pots and, all types of weird stuff. I'm a basketball player. Been playing basketball my whole life. If you're watching this video, you too are probably a basketball player. And I just want to give it to you like that from another basketball player's perspective. Scale of 1 out of 10. For me, it's tough. Like I said, the fit was a little bit off. I'd probably give these like a 7 out of 10, something like that. I think it's going to be a great option for guards. I think it's going to be a great option if you want a shoe that has really good traction, really good lockdown, really good court feel. then this is gonna be a shoe for you. I'll put a link in the description for anyone who wants to grab a pair. Again, if you're on the fence, you're not really sure, just go into a store and try a pair on. That is always the best way to know for sure. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this shoe. Do you already have a pair? Are you gonna grab a pair? Or if not, let me know what pair of sneakers you're currently hooping in and how you like them. Always love to hear from you. I will do my best to respond to everybody. Not too much else for right now. More videos on the way, so stay tuned. And until next time, Mr. Foamer Simpson, I'm out. If you like sneakers and dope shit, subscribe to the channel. We do at least 3 videos a week. You won't be disappointed.